Vacate. Between Fordham.
Tom's not feeling good. He got his booster shot yesterday.
Oh.
And so did I.
Actually, I didn't feel good after the booster, but I felt great after the first two. Between Fordham and,
I still gotta get my booster.
I got mine yesterday.
So do I. Oh, that reminds me, I have to go see.
You know where you can go, right, Tim? Know where you can go?
CVS?
No. CVS won't take walk-ins. You make appointments. You can
Right.
go to the Acme pharmacy that's in
Midland
Midland Park.
Park?
Walk-ins.
Okay.
They're the only place takes walk-ins.
Thanks.
That's why I went, because
We back on?
CVS and Walgreens
Motion,
take
motion to
appointments.
re-enter work session?
Second.
Mr. Boonstra?
Yes.
Mr. Madigan?
Yes.
Mr. Shanley?
Yes.
Tim, you have a
Okay,
motion?
motion to vacate the unimproved road at Colgate Ave and Fordham Ave, and to direct the attorney to prepare the ordinance.
Well,
think that's right.
It's the unimproved
Lebanon
road
Street.
on
Right.
Lebanon Street between Colgate Ave and Fordham Ave.
Yeah, so moved.
Second.
Mr. Boonstra?
Yes?
Mr. Madigan?
Yes.
And Mr. Shanley?
Yes,
And I will take a motion to adjourn the work session.
motion to adjourn the work session.
Mr. Boonstra?
Yes?
Mr. Madigan?
Yes.
Mr. Shanley?
Yes.
With an affirmative vote, the motion is approved.
All right, so the work session is adjourned. Nancy, we're good to move right into the 8 o'clock business meeting?
Yes, sir.
Okay. The December 7th, 2021, 8 PM business meeting of the Wyckoff Township Committee is called to order. If everyone will rise for the flag salute. I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
If everyone will remain standing, please. Before I do an invocation, I'd like to ask for a moment of silence for Coach Drew Gibbs and teacher Paula Rubenacker, who we've lost since our last meeting. We've tragically lost them. Thank you. Father in heaven, we come to you tonight to ask for your guidance. But before we do that, we would like to thank you for this season of the year that we are in. We would like to thank you for the season of Hanukkah, in which we erase darkness with light. And we would like to thank you for the season of Christmas, in which we thank you for the Christ child. We ask that you be with our members who are not with us tonight, the members of this body. Watch over them, and so they travel safely home back to Wyckoff. We thank you. We ask you also to watch over all those who are in uniform serving our country, especially on this, the 80th anniversary of the attack on Pearl Harbor, when they are very much in our minds, along with those who have lost their lives in such endeavors. We now ask your guidance on this meeting tonight. We thank you for bringing us together and look for your guidance. In your name, amen.
This regular business meeting of the Township Committee of the Township of Wyckoff is now in session. In accordance with Section 8 of the Open Public Meetings Act, I wish to advise that notice of this meeting has been posted on the bulletin board in Memorial Town Hall and on our Township Committee website page. A copy has been filed with the Township Clerk, and copies were emailed to the Ridgewood News, the Record, and to the North Jersey Herald and News, all newspapers with general circulation throughout the Township of Wyckoff. At least 48 hours prior to this meeting, the agenda was similarly posted, filed, and emailed to said newspapers.
Roll call, please.
Mr. Boonstra?
Here.
Mr. Madigan?
Yeah.
And Mr. Shanley?
Here.
I'll take a motion to open the meeting for public comment, 5 minutes per speaker, for public comment on any governmental issue that a member of the public feels may be of concern to the residents of the Township of Wykoff.
So moved.
Second?
Mr. Boonstra?
Yes?
Mr. Madigan?
Yes.
Mr. Shanley?
Yes.
Okay, to make a comment, please step forward to the microphone, state your name and address, or call 201-891-7000, extension 2220, if you wish to make a comment. Good evening.
Good evening.
Thank you for joining us.
Thank you. My name is Janet Toomey. I live in Spring Meadow, and I'm a representative every now and then to come and see if there's anything we would be interested in or you would be interested in us, et cetera. Tonight, I found out about sewers from the two other people here in the town because I didn't have a sewer when I lived in Ridgewood. And I wondered about that, why everybody doesn't have a sewer, and they explained that to me.
You didn't have a sewer in Ridgewood?
Oh, I had a sewer
Oh, you
in
had a
Ridgewood.
sewer in
Yeah.
Ridgewood. I'm sorry, I misunderstood. Okay.
Yeah, I don't think we have any other drainage.
Yeah, I
things.
would say, I think Ridgewood is.
I think Ridgewood has all
Okay.
sewers.
I'm
yeah.
sorry, I interrupted
But I
you.
was
Go
just
ahead.
curious about that, and they answered my questions about it. But I was delighted that you mentioned about Pearl Harbor. I was delighted about that. And I had we went to Europe 10 years ago, I guess, and we went to France, and of course, we went to Normandy, and it was, it's so imprinted on me, that entire day. And I thought, I will never forget this. And everyone should be here and be able to see it. And to, I met a small little guy from Great Britain, and he was signing, he was an old man at the time. I was much younger then, maybe. but he was signing the book, saying to my dear Yanks, and put his name in the book. I was very, and he was kind of crying. And when I came home on the plane, I met a teacher from a New Jersey district. I'm not going to say what district. And she had been the person taking high school kids over to France, all kinds of different places in France. And I said, how did the kids like Normandy? She said, where? And I said, Normandy. Normandy, World War II invasion. Now, she was a younger teacher. She said, oh, I didn't want them to go there. She said, why did I have to go to Normandy? That wouldn't interest them at all. I was astounded. I was so upset by that. So, if anyone ever has a chance to influence anybody in Wyckoff who is in the teaching profession, I would hope that, you would mention that story to them. Because I went to all of the United States graves in Italy and all over whenever I was in that country, because I felt so moved about their sacrifice for us. And I think it just would engender some love of country when they see that kind of thing. So I think that would be a wonderful thing to do. And I wasn't going to say that tonight, but obviously
Well,
you
thank
gave
you.
me
Thank
the
you.
entree. And I had an uncle who lost an arm in Normandy, and I had a brother who was in Vietnam. And so I was close to history that way, and always read about World War II and Vietnam and et cetera. But not everybody does. But a kid would be, I think, so impressed if they saw our United States cemeteries maybe, or some other place that would impress them, and that would be good. And for the younger teachers, maybe they have to be reminded about that. I don't know. So that would be something good to remind them about.
Thank you for
Very good.
sharing
Thank you
that
so
with
much.
us.
Very much.
It's funny you should mention that, because about a week and a half ago, I called two of our Wyckoff representatives on the regional high school board, and I reminded them that the 80th anniversary of the attack on Pearl Harbor was coming up today, and I said I was going to mention it here tonight. And I mentioned it only, as I said earlier, because it was a significant event in the history of our country, and it thrust us into the position we're in the world today. And I asked them if they could each talk to the superintendent, that somehow mention was made of the event today at our high schools. And I was told they would, so I hope they did.
That's wonderful.
Yeah, I hope they did.
That's
So,
exactly what
yeah,
is needed, I
Yeah.
think, a reminder
So.
and
Agree.
something like that.
thank you. Anyone else?
Hearing no one else, I move to close the public comment.
Second?
Mr. Boonstra?
Yes?
Mr. Madigan?
Yes.
And Mr. Shanley?
Yes.
I'll take a motion to approve the November 17th, 2021 Township Committee work session and regular business meeting minutes.
Motion to approve the minutes.
Second?
Mr. Boonstra?
Yes?
Mr. Madigan?
Yes.
Mr. Shanley?
Yes.
With an affirmative vote, the motion is approved.
Okay, Nancy, on to the consent agenda.
Okay. All matters listed below are considered by the Township Committee to be routine in nature. There will be no separate discussion of these items. If any discussion is desired by the Township Committee, that item will be removed from the consent agenda and considered separately. Resolutions. Award of contract pay-to-play Hudson County Motors. Authorized shared service Bergen County Health Services. Approval of vouchers and authorization to pay bills. Accept police chief report and authorize towing licenses. Endorse Eastern Christian Children's Retreat Community Development Grant for ADA parking. Transfer of funds, and authority to sign purchase orders. We have two ordinances for introduction. Number 1952, an ordinance to provide for and determine the rate of compensation for each officer of the Police Department of the Township of Wyckoff and the method of payment of such compensation for the year 2022. 1953, an ordinance to provide for and determine the rate of compensation for employees of the Public Works Department of the Township of Wyckoff and the method of payment of such compensation for the year 2022. We have one motion, which is to approve specifications and authorize sealed competitive bidding for the construction of a police equipment storage garage in Memorial Campus. May I have a motion and a second to approve the consent agenda?
Motion to approve the consent agenda.
Second?
Mr. Boonstra?
Yes?
Mr. Madigan?
Yes.
And Mr. Shanley?
Yes.
With an affirmative vote, the motion is approved. We have one ordinance for public hearing further consideration. It is ordinance number 1951, which is an ordinance to provide a certain capital improvement in the Township of Wyckoff and to provide for the receipt, acceptance, and deposit of grant funds therefore, and to authorize appropriations of $193,000. For second reading by title only, and a copy of this ordinance has been posted on the bulletin board in Town Hall, where public notices are customarily posted, and copies have been made available to members of the general public of the township who have requested the same.
I move the ordinance on second reading by title only.
Second?
Mr. Boonstra?
Yes?
Mr. Madigan?
Yes.
Mr. Shanley?
Yes.
This is the time and place for the public hearing on ordinance number 1951. And all persons who wish to be heard, please state your name and address before making your statement. If you wish to comment, please step to the microphone or phone us at 201-891-7000, extension 2220. Bob, you have anything on this one? No.
Not really. I just want to point out that the Township Committee has obtained a grant for this from the New Jersey Department of Transportation. This is going to be a very important project because it's not just milling a road, it's decreasing the vertical rise in a road, which will make the site visibility for motorists far safer than ever, and it's a good project.
Thank you, Bob.
Hearing no one else, I move that the public hearing on ordinance 1938 be closed.
51, I apologize, that's
1951,
my
sorry.
typo.
I'm reading it.
Apologies.
1951 be closed.
Second?
Mr. Boonstra?
Yes?
Mr. Madigan?
Yes.
And Mr. Shanley?
Yes.
Be it resolved by the Township Committee of the Township of Wykoff that ordinance number 1951, after public hearing and further consideration, is hereby adopted, and the municipal clerk is hereby authorized and directed to publish the notice of final passage of said ordinance in the official newspaper for the township as provided by law.
I move the resolution.
Second.
Mr. Boonstra?
Yes?
Mr. Madigan?
Yes.
Mr. Shanley?
Yes.
With an affirmative vote, the motion is approved.
Mr. Mayor, I have a point of order.
Yep. Mr. Madigan?
Just backing up, after we read the date, I looked at my calendar. Number 7, the approval of the business and the work session meetings should be November 15th. I know we were one day off, the 16th, so it was November 15th, so I'd like
Apologies.
just to correct that
Absolutely.
point. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Madigan. So the minutes, the motion will reflect November 15th, Township Committee work session and regular business meeting.
That's correct.
Okay? Anything else before we adjourn?
Well, this is, should we say that this is, at least for prosperity, this is Mr. Shannon's last regular meeting?
Well,
That we know of.
you're right.
I have chest pains thinking about it, and I just.
Right. Bob, thank you for your service all these years to the Township of Wykoff. You've made this place much better by serving it, so we wish you the best in your retirement.
Thank you, Tim, I appreciate it. I always felt it's been an honor and a privilege to serve as the administrator, and it's a great town. We've raised 2 children. You know, I raised a very strong woman who is a lawyer, and I raised a young man who is a good man. So I feel good about that, and I think Wykoff's a great place to raise a family. I have no regrets.
Thanks, Bob.
Thanks, Bob.
You're always here. I never imagined that you wouldn't be back for another meeting. Sorry about that.
Well, I'm hoping to have the honor and privilege to administrate the oath of office to our new municipal clerk.
Yeah, yeah.
Because I have taken an interest in her development and growth, and she's fantastic.
Thank you.
That's very kind, Bob.
And Bob, I hope to see you on the 21st,
Yeah.
but just for the record, I wish you all the best and Godspeed. And thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks, Bob.
Anything else? Thank you, Rob.
Well, unfortunately, I'm gonna have to make a motion to adjourn this
Don't
meeting.
do it.
I know. I mean, if it meant Bob staying on, I wouldn't make this motion, but it's not gonna change.
How many meetings has it been?
Well,
Motion,
we can make a motion to carry this meeting for 2 weeks.
Yeah, you could.
You could do that, you know.
motion to adjourn.
Second?
Thank you. Mr. Boonstra?
Yes.
Mr. Madigan?
Yes.
And Mr. Shanley?
Yes.
With an affirmative vote, the motion is approved.
We are adjourned. Thank you all.
Historic.
I gotta write this stuff up.